What's up, y'all? This is a unit showcase right here. So what I don't do is go over what equips they should have or what crest they should have. I do go over their kit, their passive slash abilities, dream awakening, and test them out on a quest. So before I go ahead and go over Illya's kit, I do want to say this. I have already said my opinions a lot about Illya in my live streams, but I'm only going to sprinkle in my opinions here and there, but I'm going to tell my full thoughts at the end of the video. So without further ado, let's go with the skill first, which I'm not going to even try to pronounce. It does 2200% light damage magic. Increases arts gauge by 30. I think this one right here is solid. This right here, if they ever have increased arts gauge, right, in their skill, I think 30 should be the baseline for ascended units. It should not go below 30 at all, because if it does, I think that's a little too low for ascended slash super awoken units. So the skill is fine. Now let's go with the arts, which I'm not going to even try to pronounce either. It does 18,000% light damage magic. Reduces enemies' light resistance by 50% for 15 seconds. I think this is solid right here, especially, you know, for Illya to be able to do that damage. And if you pair her up with any other light units. So now let's go with true arts, which I'm not going to even try to pronounce either. So yeah, a lot of these I don't think I'm going to pronounce at all. So it does 55,000% light damage magic, increases all allies crit by 100% for 25 seconds, autofills allies arts gauge by 5 with their HPs 50% or more for 25 seconds. I think the duration for these two right here is solid. It is fine. And then the crit rate, yeah, that's kind of like, for an example, War God Finn. He also does the exact same thing. Archgen, as well as gave everybody crit rate on true arts. But now with Illya, this is fine right here. If they're above 50% of HP, which, yeah, it is conditional. So you do want her to be paired up with some sort of healer. But if this goes below 50%, then yeah, this is hard stop. And you will not get any more arts gen from Illya whatsoever. This one is super arts, and I could pronounce this one. This one is called Excalibur. Now it does 150,000% light damage magic. The more HP Illya has when activating super arts, increases damage for 20 seconds, max 300%. So yeah, Illya loves to be in high health. That's what she wants. It's very important to pair her up with some sort of healer. And then now max is 300. So let's say, for example, right, if she's in max health all times and you decided to do super arts, oh yeah, I think you'll get basically the maximum amount of damage that Illya could output. So now let's go with abilities right here, which is good condition, accuracy up level 3, accuracy 30% up when HP is 90% or more. I think this is a little too high in my opinion. I think this should definitely lower the requirement to 80, maybe 70%. I think this will be fine. But yeah, she has accuracy right there. And then Dark Killer level 4, damage to dark enemy 20% up, so she'll do extra damage to dark enemies compared to if there are any other element. And now Magical Girl, this is her special ability right here. Arts gauge 50% up if HP is 90% or higher when activating arts, true arts, or super arts. Basically, pretty much, you've seen right here thus far that everything is tied to her health. Her damage, arch gen, as well as this ability right here, everything is tied to her health. And then also the accuracy too. So you gotta make sure to pair her up with a healer. It is very, very important. And then now let's go with the team. This is the team right here. And now this is pretty kind of somewhat specific because I am doing Dungeons and Trials floor 3001. And then you're going to see in a little bit why I chose this specific team. So now let's go ahead and break down the team. So we have Shira right here because mainly for tank and also to do, you know, that little bit of damage. And then here is Chloe, mainly for Archgen. That's why she's here. That's really about it. And then Samurai Rimuru to buff up a little bit of damage, but also to be the healer. And that's basically how it goes. So now let's go on to the quest. All right, here we are. So you see right there what the boss does. So that is perfectly fine. So I'm going to go ahead ahead and activate all of that right here. So now, okay, so it goes ahead and does that. That is fine. Let's go with Super Arts with Shiro, so that way he could go into Unlimited Blade Works. And so now with Samurai Rimuru, I am actually going to go ahead and do True Arts with Illya, so that way Archgen could be up and running right here. So the goal is to try to push the boss into this threshold right here, which it's almost there. Almost. And then boom, there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Activate the defense equips. Let's go activate that as well as that, so that way Archgen could still continue. Alrighty, so there you go. And then now let's go ahead and do Super Arts. Let's go ahead and do Arts with Samurai Rimuru, and you can see right there he is technically healing everybody right here on the team, so that is good. He's keeping Illya somewhat high health, somewhat right here. So now let's go with True Arts one last time, so that way we can push the boss into this threshold right here. Boom, there you go. Now let's activate Arts. Even though, yes, the boss does remove damage negation, but Shiro still has a little bit of damage mitigation. And yeah, the health, oh man, you can see it right there. So with Illya, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and do Super Arts, so that way she could go ahead and do the damage. And then now let's go do Arts with Samurai Rimuru. Let's activate that as well. Alright, bada boom. Illya's almost there in Super Arts. And then there you go. Bada boy. Let's go ahead and activate all of this. And then let's go ahead and heal up, so that way Illya could try to do as much damage as possible right here. And yeah, there you go. It pushed the boss into the next threshold, so that is, you know, perfectly fine right there. And then bada boom. Let's go ahead, bada boom right there too, because of the damage mitigation. And you can see right there the boss didn't do too much damage to them, so that is actually good. So with Illya, what I'm gonna actually do with her is I'm actually gonna go ahead and do Arts with her, and then continue doing Arts with Shiro, because, you know, he's there to be the tank for the team. Alright, so now Illya should be able to do more damage since the boss has, you know, light resistance lowered, right? And Illya is actually in pretty good health too. So let's go ahead and bada boy, let's go ahead and do that damage. Yeah, my boy, let's go. Bada boy. Alright, let's see right here. And will it actually defeat the boss? Yes, it did. Awesome. Now we could go on to the next one. Okay, there's no shield, so I'm actually going to activate that right there. I'm going to go ahead and keep doing Arts because, you know, like I said before, healing. Got to keep Illya in the high health. And now with Shiro, I'm actually going to go ahead and do the damage right here. I'm going to pop in Kirito, so that way the blind could, you know, be taken away, you know, be cured. There you go. I don't know why I almost forgot the wording, but hey, you know what, it's whatever's, right? So let's go ahead with True Arts right here, so that way, you know, we could still continue the Archgen up in here. Oh yeah, look at that. Alrighty then. Okay, so far it is going all good and dandy. So bada boy, because, you know, we're still taking a little bit of damage. So yeah, let's go right here with Arts. Let's go with True Arts with Illya, because all of them are blind. There's no point in doing Super Arts at all, even though, yes, I understand it will take a while, right? But still. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do Super Arts with Shiro, because, I mean, I already have the shield up and running, so it is actually perfectly fine. But with Illya and Chloe, nah, just True Arts, man. Just got to do that. Alright, there you go. Even though, yeah, Shiro is kind of running out of Unlimited Blade Works, but you know what? That is fine, because I could still go back to it. So here we are right here. So that's why I don't have Heart or Valentine's Priscilla or anything, because of Auto Recovery Killer. Not only that, I don't have Valentine's Priscilla either, so it's not like I could even use her right here. So yeah, that's why I don't have Heart, because of Auto Recovery Killer. So let's go ahead and do True Arts. Actually, bada boy, let's go ahead and do True Arts with Illya, still continuing the Archgen like I was saying previously. Alright, there you go. Now it's basically pretty much negating water damage right here. So that's why I also have every single one of them be different elements and not repeating the exact same element, because with every threshold, it is gonna basically pretty much negate whoever it's targeting and does the most damage. So now Shiro will basically pretty much only do 1 damage. So now the next one I'm going to do is actually Illya right here. So let's go with Super Arts. Let's activate these two, because these two right here is geared towards her doing more damage output and things like that. And you can see right here now, since I pushed the boss to the next threshold, so now it negates light damage. Illya basically cannot do any damage at all whatsoever to the boss except one. So now Illya is going to be basically pretty much stuck with doing nothing but true arts at this point. And then now with Shiro, I'm going to go ahead and do arts one more time, so that way I could go into unlimited blade works and not having... Like, if you don't have a tank at all for this, he will do a ton of damage, especially, you know, with the status effect that's happening right now. So let's go ahead and pop all of these. You can see their health is actually going down quite a bit. But you know what? That is still fine, though, because as long as I continue to have Archgen, it is fine. So now there you go. It negates dark damage. So now the only one that could do damage is basically Chloe, which is fine because she's, you know, able to do the damage. Oh yeah. So now let's go pop in Keratos for that, you know, a little bit of heals. Let's go ahead and do true arts, so that way Chloe right here could do a little bit more damage. I know I almost messed up my wording there. I don't know why. But I did. But you know what? That is perfectly fine though. And then now let's go and end the boss with this attack. Bada boy! Oh yeah, let's go! Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. So this one right here is quite a bit of team effort. So now let's look at the details right here. So yeah, Shiro actually did quite a bit of damage. Damn, he actually out damaged Illya. But you know what? That is fine though. Illya came in second. And so now if we look at the recovery, yeah, Illya actually had quite a bit because of her true weapon. So I'm going to show on the screen right now basically what her true weapon does. If she falls under a certain amount of health, the true weapon actually heals her quite a bit. So that's why right here in the recovery, she actually has quite a bit. And so now increasing all stats technically doesn't consider healing at all because it's increasing everybody's stats. So it's not just health. That's why Samurai Rimuru has 0. So now let's go with a break. Yeah, I mean, Chloe, obviously she's mostly a breaker right there. So yeah. My thoughts on Illya. I think she is a fine unit. However, there's a few things that need to be worked on her. So number one is the CT right here for her skill should be 10 seconds, maybe 8 seconds. So that way it could help her up and have her get started even faster. And now here's another thing too, is that what happens if she falls below 50% of HP? She's a sitting duck. She can't do anything. No Archgen, as well as damage is low too. So unless if you have a healer with her, yeah, she's not going to really do too much once she falls below 50% of HP. And she's just basically there just wasting a slot. So I don't think she is used for general teams at all, especially since she doesn't have a support slot right here at all, which makes her even slower into getting into true arts to Archgen for everybody else. Now, obviously, if you put her on LB7, this defense slot turns into a support slot. But you have to use 2 expert LB stones. So it's nah. The other Archgen unit that you could use for general teams is War God Finn. Or if you want a magic dealer as well as Archgen, then Ainz. Ainz is perfectly fine. You don't need to put him in mono demon teams. You could use him on general teams. That's what I did at the beginning of my Grand Summoner's journey. So now I think she's just a fine unit right here. So yeah. Anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think about Illya. And I have made a video on Shiro as well as Chloe. So you could go ahead and click one of those on the screen right now if you want to know more about them. That's it. See ya.